Derek Chisora. Let's have polite applause, please, for Derek and for Tyson. He'll be sitting down. Tyson, you okay on that side? I love the. I tell you what we will do though. If we do the pictures. Do you want to do the pictures now? We're not going to do there's going to be no face-off this time. No face-off. We're not doing a face-off. So if you just, I'll get out of the way. You two can just stand there. That's it. Stand up. You can stand up, maybe. Stand up. Stand up. All right. Let's get the photographers down. Let's get on with the show, as they say in the trade. Hey. 1 second. How are you doing? You okay? Looking this way, guys. 20 minutes. It's the 26th of July in Manchester. Billy Joe Saunders on the undercard, several people on the undercard. This will be the main event. It's a final eliminator for the WBO title. Tickets are available, various and normal sources. I'm not sure, are we selling any tickets tonight, Ben? No tickets tonight, no tickets tonight. We didn't sell well last time. I tell you what I'm going to have to ask you to do. I'm going to have to ask you to sit down now in front. If you've got your cameras, unless you're on a tripod, I'm going to have to ask you to move back because the people are waiting and they've been waiting a long time. Okay, so either kneel down. Thank you, boys. Okay. Guy with the red scarf on, you're going to have to do something. That's it. Are we okay? Everyone at the back okay-ish? Yes? Speak to me, speak to me. Hello, Nick. Yes, we're nearly there. I'm getting thumbs up from all sorts of people. It makes no difference. I'm in charge, as they say in the trade. Right, we had this sort of head-to-head up in Manchester a couple of weeks ago, and it was a lot of fun. It was very noisy. Derek was there. Tyson was there. There was some confusion. Then it got a bit heated. So I'll be absolutely honest with you. Neither of these two particularly like each other. They both have a history of allowing sometimes their emotions to get the better of them, sometimes in the ring, sometimes outside the ring. So what I'm going to do, my role in this is, despite what a lot of you would like to see, which is me being thrown around like a rag doll, which is of course very funny. James Helder from my film London, particularly happy with that. Mick Hennessy will put it up on as his phone saver. It's not going to work that way. Hopefully not, it's going to work that way. I'm going to chat to the two boxers, and then if you have a question you can either come forward and we'll try and get through it. First of all, Derek, thanks for coming. Tyson, thanks for coming. Tyson, I know you've got to get trained. Derek, I know you've got commitments to get on with. I'm going to start with, I don't know if any of you saw today, but David Hay, a man who you fought and who played you a little bit, and a man who played you a little bit, Tyson, he's come out and admitted today that perhaps he got it wrong last year, and he's coming back. He's going to have 3 fights a year. I'm going to ask you first. David Hayes is going to have 3 fights a year, so he says, and unify the world title.
Steve, just let me stop you there, right? David Hayes is a fucking pussy, right? This is a room full of men. We are men. We fucking fight. When we say we're going to fight, we fight, yeah? Let's not talk about David A. Tosser, who don't want to fight anybody with a pulse. Let's just keep it between me and Derek. Fighting men.
I think I'll take that advice. Call me old-fashioned, but I'm going to listen to that advice, Derek. But I am going to ask you. I am going to ask you, Derek. The last time we were up in Manchester, it got very heated, and you were fine. You were fantastic. You gave away tickets to people in the audience. You were brilliant, and then you did seem to lose your cool a bit at the end. Is that a fair comment? Is this fight starting to get to you, Derek?
I'm good.
Good and relaxed.
I'm good, yeah.
You know, the worst thing that happened about 10 years ago with heavyweights is they all started doing yoga and meditation. And it means they're also calm and nice. Whatever happened? I mean, it's great. Imagine Herbie Hyde. If he'd have done yoga, you'd never have heard of him. Derek, you say you're calm, you say you're good. Up in Manchester, you weren't calm. You were very angry. You were very, very angry.
No, I wasn't angry.
You weren't angry?
I was cool. I was chilled. I was just enjoying the moment. That was what I was doing. I was just enjoying it. I had to show Tyson that I can be in Manchester and still treat him like shit.
Did he show you that? Tyson, did he show you that? That he could be in Manchester and still do what he was doing and not be afraid of any of the people.
But you want to hear the funniest thing? You could never do that in London.
Do what in London? I'll do anything I want. This is my country as well, pussy-o. Yeah? You, or 10 men like you, couldn't make me stop doing anything. Do you understand? 20 men like you couldn't make Tyson Fury stop doing something that he wants to do. Never mind a one-man band like yourself.
You'll see.
Listen, I'm ready. Anytime you want to try something.
You look in shape. You looking good.
Oh, listen, I'm ready. I wish it was this weekend. Put you out of your misery. Stop you from thinking about the fight all the time. You know, I hope it was this weekend.
To be honest, I'm not even thinking about the fight. I don't think about the fight.
Isn't that a mistake?
Yep. No, it's not a mistake. I go in the gym for 4 hours from 9 o'clock in the morning to 12 or 1 o'clock. You know, that's when I think about the fight. That's when me and Don, you know, we do our prep work, we do everything right. Me and my fitness trainers, we do everything right. And then after that, I go home, relax with the one I love, my little girl, and that's it.
Tyson, I've seen you in build-ups to fights, and you do get, the closer they get, you get what I like. You get a bit edgier and a bit angrier and a bit tight. Are you aware of that? I mean, do you change around the people you love? Because obviously you don't love Derek, and I like you, but I'm assuming you don't love me. But do you get around the people you love? Are you edgy around them as well?
I'm a little bit edgy around everybody sometimes, you know. Sometimes I wake up in a bad mood and I feel like being edgy, but, you know, I realise that you can only be edgy. You're only letting yourself down, you know. You must wake up in a good mood every day because every day is a glorious day. Every day that God sends us, we have to be thankful for. So that's what I wake up to enjoy.
And you talk about taking the fight this weekend. I'll come to you with the second part of this question, Derek. Are you ready now? I mean, are you physically ready? Are you mentally ready? Could you fight this weekend?
Listen, I can fight now, never mind this weekend, you know. I'm always ready for a fight. Fighting's something I've done all my life and it's nothing new to me. You know, I can fight without training, you know, I'm a natural born fighter. It doesn't matter to me whether I train or I don't train, I'm still going to go in there and find a way to win, because that's what I do, I'm a winner. And like I say, if it was this weekend I'd be happy, you know, because then in July or September or whenever I could take somebody else on, you know, get Derek Chisora out of the way, give him his paycheck and on to the next man.
Derek, do you get in the last 10 days, 10 hours or 10 minutes, do you get a little bit of that hate, a bit of that adrenaline buzz from disliking the other person, or is it something you have to overcome?
See, what most boxers don't understand is you don't hate nobody when you're fighting. Like, it's just two men in the ring fighting. You know, there's no way, even if you hate it, it's not going to make the fight easier. I don't hate this guy here, yeah, but I want to whoop his ass. That's it. There's no hate. There's no hate. I just want to whoop him.
But in the build up there, if I can have your attention again, it's going to get lively now. In the build up there towards hate, you surely hated him then, or is hate too strong a word?
No, you don't hate people. You can't hate nobody. You know, life is too short for hating people. You know, especially we're boxers. We don't hate. We do the right thing. We go in the ring, we fight, and afterwards, what happened after the fight? It's all cuddles and kisses, don't it?
Yeah, it's generally always cuddles and kisses, I must admit. I mean, obviously there's some exceptions. The end of the first Froch and Groves fight, it took them 3 or 4 minutes before they shook hands, but in general it is. Have you ever left the ring disliking your opponent, Tyson? Amateur or pro?
Not really. Like Derek says, you don't hate other boxers, you know. You've got to appreciate every person for getting in the ring with a pair of gloves on. You know, I've got no hate towards Derek Chisora. I actually love Derek Chisora because he's making me a lot of money on the 26th of July, and I'm making him a lot of money, so I actually love this guy. Thank you very much, Derek. I appreciate you making me a lot of money, you know. I can't say I hate...
You're welcome.
I can't say I hate the guy, you know.
You're welcome.
I love every opponent that gets lined up for me because, you know, it's making me a richer person, and I put in the hard work, so we all deserve to get paid, and, you know, we're getting paid, so there's no animosity here, you know. Derek Chisora is a good fighter, I'm a good fighter, I'm looking forward to a great fight, and you know, only thing I can say is, may the best man win on the night, and that is it.
Del, I mean, that was, you know, fine words there, but in general what comes out of Tyson's mouth is just a list of things that he's going to be able to do to you in the ring. Is there a chance, you think, that he's reading too much into your first fight? together, and then he's maybe, could he be overconfident there?
I don't know. He knows what he's doing in the ring, in his gym up in Manchester. We know what we're doing in our gym up in North London. You know, when you train great, you always think you got way to win the fight, and then it comes to the later rounds, you start finding it difficult. For us, we're doing everything right, and I think he's doing everything right as well. So all I can say to the public right now is, this ain't gonna be a tickling competition, to be honest with you. From round one, we're gonna have a fight.
You also got the fact that this is the biggest British title fight, the biggest British title fight to take place since 1939. Okay, there have been more people in attendance, okay, than other British title fights. But more than that, the two of you will make more money than other guys in British title fights. So do you sort of get that sense of history, Tyson, or is history something that doesn't bother you?
You know, history is history, Steve. What happened yesterday is history. You know, what happens tomorrow is a mystery. I don't really care about history. I'm a bit of a modern person. I like to look to the future and I like new things. I don't like old things. My dad likes old things, classical things and all that shit, but I like new things. I'd prefer a new thing than anything old. You know, and like I said, history is history, and I'm going to make history, but who gives a shit about history? Because it's all in the past anyway.
Now, at what point in the fight do you think that Tyson will realise he's made a mistake in underestimating you? Do you think there's a point in the fight? Do you think you're going to sense that point in round 3 or 4, a bit like Carl did last week against George? Do you think that's going to happen?
No, we are fighters, we're gladiators, you know. Fighting is in his blood, is in my, actually it's not in my blood, I only got it when I was 16, to be honest with you, but I can fight. But it don't matter, we're just going to fight. You know, we're going to have a little tear up. It don't matter, if he hits me hard, you know, I'm going to come back, you know, it's going to be a great fight. You know, I am more looking forward to this fight than any other fight I've ever had in my career, basically.
What about you, Tyson? Are you looking forward to this more than any other fight you've had in your career to this point?
Yeah, definitely, because this is the brink of becoming a heavyweight champion. You know, every boxer aspires to be a heavyweight champion, or whatever weight division they're in. They want to be the champion in that division. You know, and something I've been doing all my life, Steve. It's been a long time coming. As Mick Hennessy will tell you, I believe that I've had the best grounding of any heavyweight in the world. The best rounds. I've had short fighters, tall fighters, punchers, light punches, southpaws, orthodoxes. You know, I've had it all. I've had a really good learning curve, and now I'm ready to take over the world of boxing. You know, I've got one last hurdle, and I can tell you now, I can tell everybody in this room, and everybody in London, and everybody in Great Britain, that I am not underestimating this man on my left-hand side, because I'm taking him 1000% serious. You know, I'm in a training camp 5 days a week, and people say, well, I've trained my balls off for this fight, and I've trained no hard, I'm breaking all records and all that stuff, but you know, boxers are usually fit anyway. When they get in the ring and they're involved in big fights, they come in and they have a fight. And you know, when somebody loses, they've got to latch onto something to make an excuse. But there'll be no excuses this time. There was no excuses last time. You know, and I hope we're both going to leave it all in the ring, and most of all, put on a good heavyweight fight that this country's been lacking for a long time. You know, and I hope the fans will be talking about it for a while. You know, and Chisora will always be remembered, as far as I'm concerned, anyway, because he's a very tough fighter. He always comes to fight. He hasn't avoided anybody in his whole career.
So you have to admire him for that.
You've got to admire him.
As much as you want to dislike him, as much as we want to see you two going chest to chest and screaming and shouting, you can't. The fighting man in you won't let you not admire him.
If I was to burst my bubble now and let the top of my head shoot off like a cartoon and all,
you've done it in the past.
Come out, yeah, that'd be just letting myself down, because you know, I'm a professional fighter. I'm a seasoned veteran now. I'm 25 years old. I might have done that when I was 22. Yeah, but I'm 25 now. I'm a seasoned vet in this game, and I'm really, really prepared to do battle with Derek Chisora, whether it's a 1-round job or a 12-round job or whatever rounds it's going to be. I can honestly say now, I will be in fantastic shape for the fight. I always train hard anyway for my last few fights that I've had, my last few years. You know, there'll be no stones left unturned. That's a common saying, but rarely it ever happens. But you know, there will be no stones left unturned, and I'll have the right sparring, the right food, everything. I'll be going to bed early, I'll be doing everything. You say the Americans do yoga to stay calm. Well, I'm the opposite. I have to, I'm always calm. I'm a Mr. Nice person at home, but I have to do hardcore sex and drink alcohol to make myself aggressive. That's what I might be doing, Steve.
to keep you calm. Tyson, do you think, and I'll come to you in a moment on this, Dale, because there's a backstory. Do you think after you win, do you think that Vladimir will fight him? Or do you think he'll find a reason for not defending that WBO title against you?
Listen, I'm not looking past Derek Chisora. There's no ifs, buts or maybes. I've got him to beat first. And it's not going to be an easy job, you know, regardless of what I said in the past. You know, let's face it, Derek Chisora's had 4 or 5 good wins now. Even the losses he's had, they could have been wins, to be honest. He went in there and he wasn't so experienced when he fought Klitschko. Maybe it'd be a different job now. This is why it's so interesting, this fight, because we're both at that level where we're prepared now and we've had the right grounding to go in there and take a world title. You know, it's a shame that really me and him have to fight again. I know there's no room for 2 big champs in one country, but on the other hand, there is a WBC title, and you know, maybe 2 of us could have went on and win world title belts and then defended it against each other and had a super fight in the heavyweights in this country, but that's not meant to be. What's meant to be is there's going to be a winner between us on the 26th of July. One of us is going to go back to the drawing board. One of us is going to go on to a world title now. No disrespect to Derek Chisora, he's already been there, he's had his chance, you know, he wasn't experienced enough at 15 or 16 fights, whatever he had, and he didn't fulfill his destiny of becoming a champion of the world. But I am really ready now. I wasn't ready last time. After I won last time against him, in a good fight, I won't say it wasn't, I left everything in the ring. I didn't do anything because I was 22. I wasn't ready to go and fight Vladimir. Alright, I could have gone and got a few quid, but I probably would have got my jaw broke and sent home in a wheelchair. Derek Chisora he was 27, he was mentally ready and tough. He was a man. Yeah, I was a late developer at 22, 6'9". I've always been a late developer, and it's only like now, and I'm not even in my prime yet. I'm 25, I'm one of the youngest heavyweights in the division of the top 10 in boxing. You know, maybe in another couple of years I'll be at my peak, but you're going to start to see a true champion now, and regardless of what people say, because I know they love to hate me because I'm that person who people love to hate. They call me fat, ugly, chinny, gypsy bastard, whatever they want to call me. It's all sticks and stones. It's all sticks and stones, but they will appreciate how good of a fighter I really am in time to come.
You know what's really interesting? These two have clearly disliked each other over the years. They've never ever, I don't think they've ever said anything particularly unpleasant. They just swear a lot when they get irate. Derek, I'm going to ask you, when you win the fight, will Vladimir fight you? Because twice before he pulled out, Emmanuel Stewart, before he died, told me that he would not let under any circumstances Vladimir fight you. So Vladimir's got a good memory. So will Vladimir, when you win, give up the WBO, or will he fight you?
I don't know. It's very tricky, you know, because those guys, they K2 Promotion, they run $1 billion company in Germany. So basically, the way they see it is like this: if they fight a great athlete and they lose their titles, everything has gone down the drain they've been working for. So I don't think right now they will fight anybody. Even they won't fight the Americans. You know, his last fight he boxed that guy. From where was he from?
Yeah, whatever it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
nobody.
It was nobody. It was like a sparring session.
Yeah.
So
worse than that.
They will not fight. They will not fight another athlete. Basically, this is how I see it. Because it don't matter even how much money on the table. They loved in Germany. So, but now I always say to this: if there's a great heavyweight fight, there's no titles. I think people are gonna watch it. We don't need titles to make a great fight.
If there's a great heavyweight fight, it doesn't matter if they've got silly bells. Look at Cali Meehan, look at Manny Char. I mean, no disrespect, you wouldn't pull those 2 guys in your training camp with these 2. And Manny's a lovely fella, Cali Meehan, I'm sure he loves his old mum. But they're useless. I mean, let's not mince our words. I mean, I'm being polite. Listen, if anyone's got a question, we're going to take, because Tyson's got to get going soon, I'm going to take 5 or 6 questions. If you've got a question, just try and come down the front and we'll try and grab it from you.
Steve, we're leaving, it's a snooze fest.
We're sorry?
Snooze fest, we're leaving.
What? Okay, that's fine. It's a snooze fest. Is leaving. You've broken my heart, son.
Close the door on the way out.
Don't let the door in anyone else. So it's a snooze fest. Two guys, one of whom's fought for a world title, one who's been in Madison Square Garden where he was on the floor and forgot 2 or 3 rounds against the top-ranked American. And the two guys, because they're not spitting at each other and cursing and calling each other all sorts of things, that boxing fan, probably one of the guys that was booing at the start of the 8th round last week when Carl Froch fought George Groves, he's left and it's a snooze fest. Well, good luck to you, son.
Tell you what he is, yeah? He's one of them fans, yeah, who love to hate on people. He'd love me to tip he'd love me to tip all these tables over, F and blind in front of all these people.
Can you tip this one over?
Yeah.
Can you tip this one?
I can tip it. But he'd love that, and then he'd get on Twitter and call me a right tickhead, yeah? Tipping over the table, and you're bad for boxing and all that shit. But when I'm not being that person, he gets up and walks out. So there's no winning with idiots like that. He's what you call a computer warrior, and that's what he is.
Well, I tell you what, I didn't think I was going to get a loving when I came here tonight, but I find it refreshing. I don't know about you. I've always said to fighters over the last 30 years, unless you really hate each other, unless you can't stand each other's company, a bit like Carl Froch and George Groves, you don't have to fabricate it. Do we have a question? Unless, assuming anyone's still awake after that snooze fest comment, cheeky bastard. I might send Michael Jennings out there. See, there's a guy at the back there. He went against Miguel Cotto. 20,000 people throwing cups of piss at him as he came in the ring. Throwing cups of piss at him. Some of them with turds in. Got in the ring. Thought he could win. Took a hiding. Took it. Stood up all the way through. Done by Cotto. Give him a round of applause. Hey! Have we got any public questions? Yes, darling.
How much, seeing the 80,000 at Wembley, how much as fighters does that inspire Tyson and Derek?
Yeah, that's a great question, fellas. You saw the 80,000 last week, you felt it, you heard it. Derek first. I mean, does that make you, tell the truth, Del, last week after that fight, when you were alone in the toilet, did you shadow box and imagine you were walking out of Wembley? Tell the truth.
I took a shit, basically.
What about you, Big Tyson? When you saw that 80,000, you sensed it, you smelt it, did you think, I fancy a bit of that?
You know, what was going through my mind is, if super middleweights can fill an arena like Wembley, what happens when Britain gets a top heavyweight? We'll need 3 Wembleys to fill, I tell you, definitely.
Well, I tell you, most of that crowd there, and it was great, and I'm not knocking anybody, but they were there because of the hate that was there, and hate's a good thing. I mean, it can help sell fights. Muhammad Ali stitched Joe Frazier up. They were great friends, then he turned on him, stabbed him in the back and sold at every arena they fought in. We tend to forget that. Have we got any more sensible questions? Go on, son.
The most difficult opponent they've ever faced.
Okay, you got that, boys. Derek, you first, Tyson. The most difficult opponent you've ever faced, and then you, Dom.
They're all hard opponents because different game plans, different fighters have different styles. Styles make fights, you know, so no one fight has been harder than the next fight. They've all been hard fights for me. They've all lived up to what they should have done. Maybe some people didn't perform, maybe I didn't perform, but, you know, all opponents are hard. I've had some high-profile fights, I've had some not-so-high-profile fights, but, you know, it's all down to this one. This is the opponent that I've been waiting for all my life. This is what it feels like. It comes down to this moment.
Derek, hardest opponent you faced?
Not hardest, but difficult. I think it was Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson, yeah, it's tough to get at. Well, you had 12.
Yeah.
You had 12 rounds of frustration with him as well, didn't you?
He didn't know where to hit him because everywhere you would try to hit him, he was just putting his elbows there. So he was a very tricky fella. He knew all the tricks in the book. That guy he's a genius. I'm surprised he's not a billionaire right now.
Yeah, he should be. He's lazy, but the thing is, he's lazy. 2 more questions. Someone else give me a question. Yes, son.
When is the WBO mandatory due?
I would imagine it'll be 90 days. I'll answer that. It'll be 90 days after this fight, but then they'll get it extended because they'll get special permission. But basically, you start to back him into a wall. Mick, is that any major difference in what I said? Is that about it?
Yeah, unless it's a unification fight.
So he gets a bit of space. And they don't have interim WBO, do they? Any other questions?
I've got one, Bunsey.
Go on, darling, ask the question.
Okay, my question is, George Groves likes the left hook as his weapon.
How he would finish it.
George Groves.
Yep.
What would you guys cite as your missile punch against each other?
Okay, Dale, so if you had to choose the punch that was going to knock Tyson Fury out, what would it be?
I'm going to stop him with a body shot.
want to stop in a body shop?
Yeah.
Tyson, what punch would you like to take Derek out with?
I don't know so much about punches, but my best asset is my balls and my heart and determination, and that's what I'm going to dream on. And that's all it comes down to.
And I can just reiterate that no one's going to be taken out by a swinging sack of bollocks. I can guarantee you that. Question over here. Any more questions? No more questions. There's something happening down there. There's like a ripple happening down there. You got to go.
Stevie,
You got to go.
I'd just like to thank everybody for coming. You know, it's been a great evening. You know, but if I don't get the train now, I'm definitely going to miss it, and I'll have to stay in London.
I tell you what I'd like to do. I don't know if the boys would agree with this. I'm not going to do a face-off. That didn't work. Would you shake hands?
I'll shake Derek.
Derek, will you shake hands? Stand up, shake hands. Can we do a stand up?
There's my hand and there's my heart. Good luck on the fight, and may the best man win.
Yes.
On that note, Tyson Fury's leaving the building. Good night, God bless you.
Tyson Fury's gone. Thank you. Let's have a round of applause for Tyson Fury. Hey. You expect there's going to be all sorts of chaos, and he just comes out with that gorgeous stuff. He's done it so many times. Derek, thank you very much for your time. And a round of applause for Derek Chisora as well, please. July 26th, Manchester.